Good morning. I'm the Vice President of Nursing here at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to our organization. This program is one that I and a dear colleague of mine, Dr. Marilyn Chow, and Carol Bradley had a half-baked idea almost 10 years ago about trying to expand the baccalaureate nursing workforce by going to Western Governors University and asking them to create a program, pre-licensure program, different from the other pre-licensure online programs. We had heard about the program at Western Governors University in terms of teachers. And we said, well, if teachers can do it, why don't we try and see if we can come up with something in terms of nurses. We started a series of interest meetings, talking to our colleagues around the country to see if they would be interested. And 3 facilities, Kaiser Permanente, Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and Tenet Health at the time were the 3 facilities that said we would be in. And then continuing to work with Western Governors University and Dr. Mendenhall to take an idea and make it an actuality. And we are so proud of the budding idea and the fact that the program has just grown tremendously. So you are to be congratulated for completing one of the most innovative programs in the United States. So congratulations and welcome to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center, and I know you will have a rewarding career as long as you continue to advance. Thank you.
I was really fortunate to be hired at Western Governors just when the first germ of this idea for an online pre-licensure nursing program was coming to fruition. What Linda's vision really was is that employees who work here at Cedars-Sinai who want to advance and get a career in nursing would have this opportunity as part of this partnership with WGU. 2 of our students today are moving from technician positions in Cedars-Sinai to become registered nurses, and we'll have those positions here. While you've been learning to become nurses, you've also helped to build this program. You have been our pioneers. Pioneers usually experience some hardships. Going first can be a little bit more difficult. The path is not already mapped out. The trail is unbroken. This group of students have all carried a heavy full-time load, and several have continued to work full-time throughout the program. But you made it, and each of you is well prepared clinically and cognitively to enter the workforce.
Probably after my first semester in WGU that this program was designed that would make me prepared after 2 years that I could be on my own and I'd be competent enough and confident enough, especially confident enough to be a competent nurse in patient care. And so the way this program is designed with a one-on-one student, coach, mentor, allows you a lot of time to really get to know the way the facility works, how to provide patient care. You don't feel rushed or stressed out, having to kind of wait for your instructor or your mentor, like other programs where there's a bunch of other students. It's just myself and my mentor, and all that time alone with her and I allows a lot of time for me to learn everything that I need to learn.
The coaching relationship is very unique, and in fact, they have a coach all the way through the program. But for their first 3 clinical intensives, they have the same coach. And so they really develop, and those clinical intensives occur every 12 weeks. So that 9 months they're with that same coach for the course of time. And so it's a very deep, very rich experience.
The coaches were the best. The coaches is really what I could learn everything through a textbook, but actually being in the hospital and having hands-on experience with one-on-one coach is probably what prepared me most to graduate.
And what I like about this program is that they don't go to the clinical site, being to the hospital, until they've shown that they're competent in being safe in performing procedures on patients. So they do it in a safe environment. And once they pass those, they have to be tested. Then and only then are they allowed to go to the hospital setting to actually care for real patients. So I think that's perfect. And the great thing about it, it's a one-on-one. So they're put with an experienced nurse, and it's just a one-on-one relationship. And they work like in a real setting for a 12-hour shift, which in traditional programs, you don't have that.
I had a lot more personal time because I had a coach, and I had a mentor, and I had a class mentor, and I had like 3 people right there supporting me. And I think that's what made the difference, because when you go into clinical, if you were in a traditional program, you're maybe 10 students and you're off, in clinical and trying to get in there and say, I want to do that, I want to do that. But I didn't have that because I was always one-on-one, and I didn't have to kind of compete with other students to try and do that dressing change or put that catheter in. So that's what I believe made one of the biggest differences.
The latest data is that 50,000 nurses in the country who are qualified to go to nursing school cannot get in. And part of it has to do with working adults have very busy lives, very complicated lives, and often traditional programs are more difficult for working adults to manage. The clinical happens Monday through Friday, or the required in-class time happens during the daytime hours when people are working. So for our students, for working adults in particular, this program offers them great opportunity, an opportunity they wouldn't otherwise have.
Before I was in the WGU program, I was a full-time mom and had recently divorced and was looking at, how to create a new life again. I have 3 children, and so they are finally old enough, now they're teenagers, that I felt comfortable to go back to school and pursue what had become a passion. I started taking all the prerequisites at a local college and started to look into what the different nursing programs were that were locally available. They are on a lottery system. It's hard to get in irregardless of what your grades are. And I heard about WGU. I found an advertisement online and automatically applied as soon as I could get all the paperwork together, and was really excited to get the phone call that I'd gotten in.
I have had the honor of being the mentor to these students for about the past year. And at WGU, we assign student mentors at the beginning of the program to hopefully be with students throughout their program. And mentors are similar to advisors, only in traditional programs, advisors might meet with you at the very beginning of each semester and assign you your schedule, and then you don't see them until the next semester. At WGU, we have a more active role where we're talking at the beginning weekly with students by phone. And then as you mature in your education, every other week. So we form a very close-knit relationship with our students.
My mentor, Robin, is really wonderful. Every time I call, if I'm having a really exciting moment and I want to gloat, I call her up, and even if I just leave a message, I always get a message back, either on the phone or an email saying good job or way to go. Or when things weren't going as well, I got the pickup, okay, you can get through this, you can, so she's been a constant presence and wonderful to work with.
Overall, I learned that you are all smart, driven, and disciplined, and it was such a pleasure and a privilege to work with all of you. My best wishes as you begin your nursing career.
I think the most important for me was the clinical experience that I received going to different clinical sites. The fact that I was able to directly interact with patients, family members, with other nurses, with physicians. It actually gave me a reward when I would get home, that the day that I spent in the hospital wasn't just shuffling papers, but I was involved with patient care, and I was actually making a significant difference in someone's life. Other programs, you have to go to class, you spend a lot of the time reading stuff in the book, but you can do it at home. And what I like about WGU, you go on your own time. For example, me, I can only study for an hour, 2 hours at a time. So I would study for 2 hours, take a break, study for 2 more hours. The fact that I'm able to have my own pace, and that gave me a lot of help in the program. And also WGU offers a lot of resources, from online library to mentors to clinical instructors to clinical coaches. I felt like I was being supported pretty much from 360 degrees.
Yes, I would recommend WGU to my friends and my family, and I actually have. And because it's a different experience. I mean, in a traditional school, you're just kind of put in, and it's kind of like survival of the fittest, whoever makes it out. Through WGU, they really care about each individual, and they really want to see you succeed. So it's a little bit more special attention with them, and I would recommend it.
I think for me the most challenging part of the program was online. Even though I have a bachelor's degree from in a different field, I got a couple years ago, I've never taken an online class. So when I was going through the program, I wasn't really sure how I'm going to feel about the online. So when I started the online program, I'm like, that's kind of weird. And it took me about a couple of weeks to adjust. But after realizing how the program works, this is a best way, personally for me, because I'm able to have a social life, I'm able to have a full-time job, and able to go to school at the same time. And the fact that WGU offers so much support through mentoring, through emails, that actually almost feels like I'm being in the actual school where I'm actually attending daily classes.
A few years back, one of the concerns was that new grads would leave the profession after 6 months or a year. They'd get out of school and they'd get into the real world, and it's very different. So we think we've bridged that. We think we've shortened and strengthened the bridge into practice by providing these clinical immersion experiences in real environments.
I know most people are a little intimidated by the fact that it's an online program, but I really do try to encourage to just try it out, because I myself was very skeptical in the beginning that I should go from a traditional nursing program to an unorthodox nursing program, and it worked out amazing, and I couldn't be happier with the decision I made.
I think it's a great program. A lot of my colleagues, I've talked to about this program. I've let students who are trying to go back for their RN or BSN what this program can offer, as well as having my friends and colleagues who also were able to teach this program. It's a fantastic program. Just too bad it hadn't been around when I became a nurse long, long ago. That's the only sad thing I have to say about it, but it's great.
Once again, welcome to the greatest profession. Enjoy this day, this moment, this achievement. Today, let's celebrate. Congratulations.
The class of 2011.